I've always had a passion for being around and learning about animals. When I was younger, going to zoos and animal parks was always a part of my life. I wanted to share my passion with family and friends, so I started working with people that loved animals as much as I did, and my YouTube channel was born.
Welcome back to my animal education series. Today we'll be doing some molding and creating with some excavator clay that I bought from LLL Reptile. As you can see, we have used this before. This is my Leopard Gecko Violet's Enclosure, and then back there we have my Eastern Common Lizard's Enclosure. We've used this in there as well. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be adding some ramps over here and here, because we poorly planned it and we didn't give her an easy way to get up here. And we're also going to be making another cave here with this little cup, as we're going to use as kind of to form it. And they're also be going in, just kind of patching up some of the places, because this shrinks once it dries. Because as you can see here, we just put some water in with the dry stuff that you get in the bag, and then once it does dry, it shrinks. So you have a bit of a crack here, but that's just some stuff that won't be too hard to take care of. So let's get started. So I want to start off by saying that I have very little artistic ability. So this is just kind of my dad and I winging this. So just kind of put that in there to kind of attach it to the previous formation that we have, and also fix some of the patching that we have in there. So what I'm working on now is I'm getting the cave structure here. Sorry about that. You want to be careful so that you're not squeezing the thing or plastic that I'm using here, because when you start squeezing, you start kind of screwing up the structure and the shape of the cave from the desired object and shape that you originally had it. So you have to make sure you have it nice and thick. Like you can see here, that's really thick, and that's going to prevent it from cracking. If you have it really thin, kind of like right here, that's easily going to crack. I need a bigger chunk than I just grabbed. And I'm also trying to figure out how to properly mold it to the pre-existing structure that I have there, so that it doesn't look too out of place and weird. So what I'm doing now is just trying to thicken it up, because thickness is really important, or you're going to kind of mess up your entire structure. So since there's the opening here, it's not a complete wall or anything, it's going to be very weak there. So you want to get a big chunk like this, and then just kind of like make sure you have it there, and just kind of smooth it out so it doesn't look super weird, but also make sure it's nice and thick, because like, it really needs to be thick, as you can see there. That's probably like a good inch and a half. So like if it's kind of bulky like it kind of looks now, that's fine, because I'm going more for functional than really appearance, because I want to make sure it's nice and strong and that it doesn't collapse in on her and harm more of my animals, because that's never good. And also here, and like the areas right here, kind of smoothing it into the structure. Right here I need to do a bit more work with the rock there. So you can have another big glob like that, kind of smooth it out a little bit. And as my dad was telling me, as he does more of this work than I do, if you kind of smooth it out like this, it will tend to crack less. Let me show you guys where I'm at currently. So I kind of finished off most of this. I might have to do some additional patchwork, but it looks pretty good for right now. I kind of patched this up and smoothed it out so that it doesn't break, because typically stuff that sticks out, kind of like this little bit here, or like a little ball, is definitely going to break off, because it just doesn't have the structure to it, and when it shrinks, it's going to completely detach itself. We smoothed it out, as I'm doing here, doing some patchwork there, and then now I'm going to go into the second ramp over here. So I'm going to throw some more glops over here and keep her going. So as you can see now, we changed it to its normal orientation. That's because I was putting so much of this excavator clay here that it's getting too heavy for itself, and it's starting to just fall into the little cave back here, and that's going to be a pain in the butt to get out. So we have it like this to kind of just fix the issue here. But really, the main reason we had it on its side in the first place is just to make it easier to work on us. So that really doesn't affect it too much at all. So now I'm just trying to make a ramp here and not interrupt the cave here, which is now filling with the excavator clay that I dumped in there. That's completely my fault though. So I'm going to try to fix that and make this little ramp here, and I'll catch you guys on the next update. So we just finished up here, and I have a bunch of this dried excavator clay / concrete on my hands. So that's when you know that you're getting about finished. So let me walk you guys through what I just did. So starting on the left here, I added the second ramp for Violet, my Leopard Gecko, to get up here easier. It was a bit hard to kind of connect to the ramp. It kept moving. So I added this little bit here to kind of attach it to the rock better. And I also did manage to clear out the cave where all the excavator clay was falling. Here you can kind of see I was smoothing it out and attaching it to the rock and the original formation up top as well. And also made this cave here. And you might be wondering to yourself how we're going to get that cup out. So we're just going to cut it, because we get that from our superworm orders from Tie-Dyed Iguana with 50 superworms. So we have those cups, so we just are going to cut it on out of there because we don't need it anymore. And then also have the second ramp on the right. So we will update you guys in once we get Violet into the enclosure, because you can't do it now because while it's drying. And we have this very hot heat bulb on there. We're going to put another one on there as well. So I will update you guys on the enclosure and how this turned out tomorrow once it dries. So yesterday you guys saw me sculpt this extra cave in these ramps for my Leopard Gecko Violet. Some of the things that did happen overnight is that there's a bit of a crack right here and a small one here, and this little bit got detached. But when you dry it overnight, as we did with some of our extra heat lamps, it tends to shrink, as I mentioned yesterday. So that's bound to happen, so don't worry about that at all. And today we are going to put new substrate in. We cleaned some of the stuff in her enclosure, and we're just going to put that all back in there and see how she likes her new home. So I know that not everyone agrees with using sand as a substrate, so that's why I mix it with soil as well. And where they are from, most of the ground is packed in soil and sand. So I've also done that here. I've taken the soil and the sand and I've packed it down to a nice firm level. And also I use a feeding bowl. For any substrate that I choose to use, I always have a feeding bowl for her to use so that she's not eating directly off of the substrate, so that she doesn't ingest any of that, because I doubt you guys want to eat dirt, so I doubt they want to eat dirt. So the first thing I'm going to put in is the water and the food bowl. So I'm going to put this in the corner here. Want to make sure that doesn't move, and put this food bowl about right there, about centralized in there. Then pour the water in, because obviously they need water to live. And we did have some decorative leaves in here before, but since we filled up more of the space with the excavator clay, if you put that in there, it would create a hole and probably more cracks that I don't want to deal with. So we don't have those in here anymore. So we have this. I'm going to put that right in between the water bowl and the extra ramp here. Kind of push that in so that it doesn't move. And last but not least, we have Violet, who is begging to get brought out of this enclosure, little tub thing. There she is in all her glory. Hey, come on, sweetie. She's such an awesome lizard. I love her. Alright, so let's put her in here. Want to kind of walk off on her own terms, don't want to force her or anything. And there she goes. And I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below, subscribe to my channel, and also check out my Instagram, where you'll find an awesome picture of this setup and her. And as always, hope you enjoyed.